You are losing money right now. Not tomorrow. Today. And the decision causing it is one you probably made again this morning without even noticing. Close this video if you are comfortable with that. What follows has been quietly removed from every financial curriculum, every advisor's pitch, and every bank's welcome packet, for a very specific reason. The average person in the US loses over $400 a month to decisions that feel safe. Not to fraud, not to bad luck, to the illusion of doing the right thing with money. Inflation in the last 4 years has run at nearly 3 times the interest rate of a standard savings account. That means the money sitting still in your account is shrinking. Every single day it sits there. But here is what nobody tells you. The system was not designed to make you wealthy. It was designed to make you feel like you are being responsible, while your real purchasing power quietly disappears. Wealthy people do not keep money where it feels safe. They keep it where it moves. There is a difference between money that is protected and money that is working. Most people only ever have one of those. The top 5% of earners in the US hold less than 6% of their net worth in cash or cash equivalents. The bottom 50% hold over 40% of their wealth in cash. That gap is not a coincidence. Rich people treat idle money as a liability, not an asset. Every dollar sitting in a low-yield account is a dollar being slowly taxed by time. They understood this early. Most people never learn it at all. But here is what nobody tells you. The strategies wealthy people use are not complicated. They are not illegal. They are not reserved for people with millions already in the bank. They have simply never been explained clearly to people who need them most. The first thing silent money earners do is separate their money into layers. Not into a savings account and a checking account. Into tiers based on what each dollar is supposed to do within a specific time window. Tier 1 is liquidity. Money you can access in 72 hours. Tier 2 is growth. Money that should double in value within a decade. Tier 3 is protection. Assets that hold value when everything else falls. Here is what almost nobody expects to hear. Saving more money is not the answer. For most people, saving harder is actually making the problem worse. Because discipline without direction just concentrates money in the wrong place faster. That is not motivational content. That is arithmetic. The more aggressively you save into a structure that loses to inflation, the more purchasing power you destroy over time. The effort is real. The result works against you. But here is what nobody tells you. The people who got wealthy did not save their way there. They engineered the direction their money moved before they earned it. The savings happened automatically inside a structure that was already working. That structure is what financial institutions do not want you building independently. Because the moment you do, you stop needing their products. And their products are not designed for your benefit. They are designed for your compliance. Banks earn an average of 4 to 7 times what they pay you on deposited funds. They lend your money out at rates that dwarf your interest return and pocket the spread. This is not a secret. It is simply never said out loud to the depositor. The same institution offering you a 0.5% savings rate is lending that capital at 6, 8, sometimes 12%. The math of that gap is the entire business model, and you are on the wrong side of it every single month. But here is what nobody tells you. You can be on the other side of that equation without being a banker, without a license, without a large starting amount. The mechanism exists. It has existed for decades. It is just never taught. Dividend-yielding assets, index instruments, real estate investment structures, and high-yield alternatives have all outperformed standard savings vehicles over every meaningful 10-year window in modern financial history. Not occasionally. Consistently. The most important part of this is still coming. Stay with me. Because what follows is the piece that most people who find this information still get wrong. And getting it wrong costs more than never finding it at all. The reason most people fail at building silent income is not a lack of knowledge. It is a timing error. They wait until they feel financially stable before they start. But the structure is what creates the stability, not the other way around. Every year you wait to build a compounding position costs you more than the year itself. A single year of delay in a compounding instrument at 7% average annual return does not cost you 1 year of gains. It costs you every year of gains that year would have generated for the rest of your life. But here is what nobody tells you. The people who started with very little and built real wealth did not start when they were ready. They started before they were ready and used the structure itself to force the behavior. Automation is the mechanism, not willpower, not discipline. When the transfer happens before you see the money, you never have the opportunity to redirect it. The wealthy did not become wealthy through better habits. They built systems that made bad habits structurally impossible. Most people believe they will start investing seriously when they earn more. But income and wealth are not the same variable. There are people earning $200,000 a year with zero net worth, and people earning $40,000 a year building real positions. The difference is structure, not salary. Here is the part nobody wants to admit. The financial position most people are in right now is not something that happened to them. It is something they built slowly, invisibly, through a series of completely normal decisions that felt responsible at the time. Keeping money in a savings account felt safe. It was taught as responsible. But responsible and wealth building are not the same instruction. One protects the feeling of security. The other builds actual security. Buying a new car on a payment plan felt like a smart use of cash flow. But a depreciating asset financed at interest is a monthly extraction from your net worth that compounds downward. It felt normal because everyone around you did it. But here is what nobody tells you. Normalcy is expensive. The financial behaviors considered standard in most households are exactly the behaviors that prevent wealth from accumulating. Not because people are irresponsible, because they were never shown anything different. The advisors at your bank are not advisors. They are product representatives. Their job is not to optimize your wealth. Their job is to place you into products that generate revenue for the institution. That is their performance metric, not yours. Independent fee-only financial planners exist. Low-cost index funds with decades of documented returns exist. Tax advantage structures that most employees never use exist. None of these make the bank money. That is exactly why you were never told about them clearly. The shift is not about earning more. It is about changing what money means to you structurally. Wealthy people do not see money as something to spend or save. They see it as a resource that should always be in motion toward a return. When money sits, it is not resting, it is decaying. Inflation does not pause. The cost of goods does not freeze while your savings account generates 0.4% annually. The meter runs whether you are watching it or not. But here is what nobody tells you. Once the mindset shifts, once money is seen as a tool with a job rather than a number to protect, the decisions become different automatically. You stop asking if you can afford something. You start asking what the cost of not deploying that capital actually is. That is not a philosophical change. It is a mathematical one. Every financial decision has an opportunity cost. The question is never just what this costs. The question is what owning this costs you in the context of what that capital could have been doing instead. People who build silent income streams do not feel wealthy first. They act within a structure first. The feeling follows the architecture, not the other way around. That sequence is the entire secret, and it is available to anyone willing to reverse the order. Start with the smallest possible automated position. Not the ideal one. Not the one you will start when you are more stable. The one you can start this week. Because starting late at a small number beats not starting at a perfect number that never comes. The final thing, and this is the part most people miss even when they find everything else, is that the goal is not to get rich. The goal is to make your money work harder than you do. Wealth is what happens when that equation tips in your favor permanently. You now know more than most people who will retire with less than they need. That is not an exaggeration. The majority of adults in developed economies will reach retirement age with insufficient assets to maintain their current standard of living. You found this information. Most people will not. The question now is not whether you understand it. The question is whether you will be different from the people who understood it and still did nothing because the starting point felt too small to matter. Every position you do not build today is a position you will have to build later. At a higher cost, with less time for compounding to work, and with less margin for error. Time is the only input in this equation that cannot be replaced. The money you are losing right now is not going to come back. But the money you protect and redirect starting now has a window. That window is open. It does not stay open indefinitely. Silent money is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not require a dramatic change or a sudden windfall. It requires a structural decision, made quietly, and then left alone to compound in the direction you chose. You already know what happens if nothing changes. You have watched it happen, to people around you, and possibly to a version of yourself you do not want to become. The information is no longer the barrier. The decision is.